What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Durant, and we're here to talk more Celtics basketball. And we are in the full swing of NBA offseason. There are a ton of things that have happened, a ton of things to talk about. But specifically in this video, I wanted to talk about the Jaylen Brown trade rumor that we heard from Woj, Shams. We don't know if these things are true or not, but hey, it was reported, so there's something to talk about. So the report says that Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and a first-round pick was offered for Kevin Durant. I don't remember if it was one first-round pick or multiple first-round picks. Be sure to correct me in the comments. I don't really care. So you can view this trade from two sides, in my opinion. You can view it from the side of it's unnecessary, which is my side of it. As I'm looking at the Celtics on paper, I feel like they have the best 10-man roster in the entire league, the 10-man rotation. Or you can look at it from the irrational side. And what I mean by the irrational side, I call these people Jaylen Brown truthers. And what I mean by Jaylen Brown truthers, these people think that they are, exposing a conspiracy against Jaylen Brown. They, for some reason, think that Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum. And the only reason that Jason Tatum is considered better than Jaylen Brown is because of media hype. That is their reasoning. Every Jaylen Brown truther to their core will say either two things. The media is the reason that Jason Tatum is the better player, or two, that Jason Tatum is inconsistent. Two things that are unfathomably not true. Something you can't even prove. Statistically, you can't prove, but they've taken the finals, the 2022 NBA finals, as their big aha moment. Instead of viewing it as a top three defense, focusing solely on Jason Tatum, who is clearly the best player on the Boston Celtics, and have now warped it into viewing as, well, Jaylen Brown played better. Why do you think Jaylen Brown played better? I ask every Jaylen Brown truther that. Why do you think Jaylen Brown played better than Jason Tatum? And Jason Tatum had all of the better numbers throughout the season. They won't be able to answer it. They'll just come back to the same ridiculous claim that Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum. And I don't want to shit on Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is a fantastic player. Jaylen Brown is an excellent player. He's one of my favorite players. I'm so happy of the development of Jaylen Brown. But I feel like Jaylen Brown truthers bring this out of me. They make me want to jump on YouTube and rant and make these videos and talk about how nonsensical this is. Why do Jaylen Brown truthers do this? And I call them the Jaylen Brown truthers because they believe that they're exposing some type of conspiracy against Jaylen Brown. No statistical explanation they can bring up to support it. Nothing. And then when we just and the real point of it all is that this is just more reasons for people to slander Jason Tatum, to keep moving the goalpost. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of listening to it. I mean, the nonsensical idea of trading Jason Tatum for Kevin Durant. This is what Jaylen Brown truthers have come up with their head as a better form of an idea. Might be one of the most worst suggestion in the entire NBA. Nobody's doing it. And on top of it, it's an illegal trade. They can't trade Jason Tatum while Ben Simmons is on Brooklyn's roster. And nobody wants Ben Simmons right now. A 26-year-old with back injury history? Hell no. Keep him. Ben Simmons isn't leaving Brooklyn. And Jason Tatum, for damn sure, is not leaving Boston. Now, let me talk about this trade. In my head, I say, listen, it's a good trade if it were what was offered, which is Jaylen Brown and Derek White. And I think the report said the counter was Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and a bunch of picks, which is nonsensical. Again, something that I don't believe is being offered. But for some reason, again, national media heads have taken the counter offer, which was reported, and has now put that as, well, that's what the Celtics are offering. No. Why would the Celtics trade two of their 5 starters after going to the NBA Finals? I dare to question anyone to answer that question for me. I dare anyone to answer that question for me. It makes no sense. It makes no sense it doesn't even add up. So the counter offer is a no. So if I'm stuck with the original offer, in my opinion, Brooklyn has no leverage against Boston because the simple fact Boston doesn't need this trade. If you look at the roster top to bottom, Boston is the most talented team in the NBA. When they added Malcolm Brogdon, that put them, in my opinion, head and shoulders ahead of everyone in the Eastern Conference. Adding a Kevin Durant would just put you head and shoulders over the entire NBA. And so, yes, I like the trade. As reported, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, multiple firsts. Fine. But in my opinion, I think it's unnecessary. I don't think it's a trade you need to do. On top of that, you're resetting chemistry. You're resetting the rotation. You're now down one guy. And now we're depending on Peyton Pritchard to play up more minutes as the third point guard. So as I look at this trade, I'm okay with if it was just what was offered. Anything more is a no. Anything more is a no. And it's not because I think Jaylen Brown's a bad player. I just think Kevin Durant is that good. And going back to Jaylen Brown truthers, I hate to even address this because I love Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's a great player. And yes, I do think Jaylen Brown is underrated. But underrated by his own team? No, I don't believe that. Jaylen Brown is not underrated by the Boston Celtics. He's properly rated. He's the number 2 player on the team. And the thing about the finals and what people don't understand is Jaylen Brown just did what he was supposed to do in the finals. When your number 1 is struggling, the number 2 take advantage of the opportunities that are opening up for you. Take advantage of the opportunity to score. Take advantage of your one-on-ones. You're on the weak side of the defense every single time we get in a half-court set. That's all I think. I think Jaylen Brown did that. I think he took advantage of the defense focused so much on stopping Jason Tatum. Go back and watch the finals. And as for the 1v1 comparison, I don't even have to explain it because I'm not even going to give Jaylen Brown truthers that because that's what they want. At the core of it, they want us to just start shitting on Jaylen Brown. This is an agenda to get us to start shitting on Jaylen Brown, and I won't do it. I won't, but I will call you nonsensical. I will call you delusional. I'll clown you, but I'm not clowning Jaylen Brown. I won't do it. It's clear to me who the better player is, and I don't have to explain it to you because you already know this. These asinine takes by Jaylen Brown truthers. I mean, I just feel bad I even have to address this. Why do we have to address this? Why can't people just be normal? Why is there a bad take every single time about Boston? It's awful takes after another. Why would Boston trade Jason Tatum? That makes absolutely no complete and utter sense, but I continue to see it. I saw it on ESPN today. Why would they do that? Jason Tatum is a 24-year-old player who is on a top 5 player trajectory. Hell, he might end up being the best player for a few years. We don't know, but we know Jaylen Brown isn't on that trajectory. I know the difference between a first-team All-NBA player and an All-Star. I know the difference. Now, I'm not saying that Jaylen Brown can't be a top 10 player one time in his career. I'm not saying Jaylen Brown can't do these things, but I'm telling you, it's not that likely. It's not that likely that Jaylen Brown ends up being a top 5 player. If it was, we'd know. I promise you, the top 5 players in this league, you knew it very early that they were going to be top 5 players in this league. You knew it very early. It is what it is. I think Jaylen Brown is a fantastic player, but to sit up here and say that he's better than Jason Tatum you have no explanation behind that other than the NBA Finals, and I think that's such an ignorant take on it. Why do you think Jaylen Brown had a better NBA Finals? Ask yourself that question. Continue to dig deeper. Do your homework. Stop making me do the work for you. Stop making the rest of us do the work for you. Google is a free tool. Basketball Reference is a free tool. Use it. But this right here about Jaylen Brown being better than Jason Tatum and that Boston should trade, no. No. And I'll say this about the Jaylen Brown trade rumor. Jaylen Brown was the best player that I've seen so far mentioned. I'll say that. He was the best player mentioned so far that actually looks feasible to happen. So I don't know if a Kevin Durant trade is going to happen. I don't know. But I'm kind of in just, if it happens, it happens mode right now. I'm not rooting on either side. If it happens, it happens mode. But if they trade they're not trading 2 of our 5 starters to make it happen. Like, that's just this thing about, well, I saw someone say that they're not going to let Marcus Smart get, yes, they will. Who do you think Marcus Smart is? Why do people just think Marcus Smart is some bum, some scrub? Marcus Smart is a damn good player. I think he's probably, and most likely, this is without even really thinking about the list, he's probably one of the 10 best point guards in the league right now. I think he surpassed Drew Holiday this year. In my opinion, I think he's better than Drew Holiday now. And I thought Drew Holiday was a top 10 point guard and probably still is. But I'm not just throwing Marcus Smart in any random deal. And these people that continue to say, well, Jaylen Brown should just be upset. There is no player that you know in the NBA that has requested a trade off of trade rumors. Jaylen Brown tweeted, shake my head, because he's tired of the trade rumors. He's tired of it. It's annoying. This didn't even come from Boston. So how can you sit up here and blame Boston as if they leaked this themselves? Boston probably and most likely isn't even going to do this deal because Brooklyn side leaked it. They probably haven't even contacted them in a while. They probably asked them, hey, would you do this trade? Okay, no. So we're just going to go with Malcolm Brogdon. Hell, we don't even know the timeline of when this was offered, if it was offered. But we have to sit up here and listen to other people give their awful takes. I mean, this Jaylen Brown thing is just, it's getting out of control. It's getting to the point where people are actually believing what's coming out of their mouth. What do you do in the finals? What are you talking? Dwayne Wade outplayed LeBron James in the finals. And they're like their first finals where they went up against the Mavericks, where LeBron James was terrible. Nobody came out of that finals thinking that Dwayne Wade was better than LeBron James. LeBron James had just won 2 MVPs the year before in 2009 and 2010, and then came in like second place in 2011 behind Derrick Rose. He should have won that one. He should have been a 3-time MVP back to back to back. It happens. It happens, guys. Some series, your counterpart, your number 2 is going to be better. And that's what makes them a great number 2, because they can pick up the slack when you're struggling. But this thing about, well, Jaylen Brown's actually the better player. If Jaylen Brown's going to be mad and go get his own team, I implore Jaylen Brown to do those things. I implore Jaylen Brown to do those things if he is. If Jaylen Brown wants his own team, what am I to say no to that? But I know the truth. I know the ceiling of any team with Jaylen Brown as their best player. I know the ceiling. I don't have to say, but I know the ceiling, and you know the ceiling. And so what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I think I'm done with my rant. And it was like 10% of me explaining why I think the trade is okay, why I don't really care. But to the main point of it, I just had to address Jaylen Brown truthers. But as always, guys, I have nothing left for the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you feel about this trade. Let me know what you feel about Jaylen Brown truthers. And let me know, am I just ranting, or is everyone seeing the same thing? Are you now seeing an increase in Jaylen Brown truthers? Peace.